Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji. Welcome all of you. Thank you for joining and keeping the appointment with Krishna to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. So today we'll be discussing from third canto, 11th chapter, first half. That is a very wonderful chapter. We'll discuss later. So let us start by Jai Radha Madhav. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Girivaradhari Jaya Yashoda Nanda Jaya Rajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodananda Jaya Rajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashoda Nandana Jaya Rajajana Ranjana Jaya Yashodananda Jaya Rajajana Ranjana Jaya Yamuna Chiravanashari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Chiravanashari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Chiravanashari Jaya Kunja Vihari Jaya Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्री प्रभुपाद की श्री बोल। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्. Before reciting the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of God Narayana, unto Narayana, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. By regular attendance in classes on the Bhagavatam and by rendering of service to the pure devotees, all that is troublesome to the heart is almost completely destroyed. In loving service unto the best of Godhead, who is praised with transcendental songs, is established as an irrevocable fact. जगन्नाथ बलदेव माई की जय, नरसिंह भगवान की जय, पंचतत्व की जय, षड गोस्वामी की जय, गुरु परंपरा की जय, श्री प्रभुपाद की श्री गुरुदेव की। So Hare Krishna, Prabhu Mataji. So just share the screen. Okay. So this is the chapter we'll be discussing. That is the first half. Actually, there are 42 verses in this chapter. So first half is to verse number 21. So chapter is entitled Calculation of Time from the Atom. So just recite first verse and then we'll discuss the whole thing. Right. Maitreya charama sadvisheshanam aneko samyutha sada परमाणुस्स विज्ञेयो नृणाम ऐक्य भ्रमो यतः मैत्रेयवाच चरमः सद्विशेषाणाम् अनेको संयुतः सदा परमाणुस्स विज्ञेयो नृणामैक्य भ्रमो यतः मैत्रेयवाच चरमः सद्विशेषाणाम् अनेको संयुतः सदा परमाणुस्स विज्ञेयो नृणाम ऐक्य भ्रमो यतः. One Prabhuji and Mata, you can recite, please.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Shall I recite?
Yes, Mata, please.
Maitreya uvacha charamassatvisheshanam aneko samyutas sada paramanussa vigneyo nrinam ekya brahmo yataha.
Thank you, Mata. Anybody else want to propose? Anyone, Mata, you propose, okay. Okay, what code meaning? Maitreya Vacha. Maitreya said, Charamaha, ultimate. Sat, effect. Visheshanam, symptoms. Anekaha, innumerable. Asamyutaha, unmixed. Sada, always. Paramanuhu, Paramanahu, that is atoms. Saha, that. Vigyaha, should be understood. Ram, of men. Aikya, oneness. Brahmaha, mistaken. Yataha, from which. Translation and purport with Divine Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Please hear the translation and purport. The material manifestations, ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. It exists always as an invisible identity, even after the dissolution of all forms. The material body is but a combination of such atoms, but it is misunderstood by the common man. Purport. The atomic description of the Srimad Bhagavatam is almost the same as the modern science of atomism, and this is further described in the Paramanuvada of Kannada. In modern science also, the atom is accepted as the ultimate indivisible particle of which the universe is composed. Srimad Bhagavatam is a full text of all descriptions of knowledge, including the theory of atomism. The atom is the minute subtle form of eternal time. Om Jnanjvarandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunatamitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishaka Vitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patidanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurav Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Yonta Pravishya Mamavacha Imam Prasuptam Sanjeevayate Kilashakti Dharaswadamna Anyam Chahasta Charana Shravanato Gadin Prana Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Mukha Bhagavati Vachana Bhangam Vete Kripatam Munde Parama No Ishta Bhutale Shimta Mahamishka Swami Tinamale No Ishta Nirushash Jai Krishna Hare Krishna. Sorry, Krishna Bhagavata. Actually, there is another beautiful verse which we should recite every day. This is from actually fifth canto, 18th chapter, verse number 9. Prahlad Maharaj is praying. Swastyastu Vishwasya Khala Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mitodhiya Manascha Bhadram Bhajata Dadokshaje Aveshatam no Matirapyahaituki. Please hear the translation. So wonderful. This is very nice for all of us to recite for the welfare of the whole universe, right? It says, may there be good fortune throughout the universe, and may all envious persons be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing Bhakti Yoga. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Shri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in the thought of Him. This was a beautiful idea to understand, right? So, very nice. So, welcoming all of you again for this wonderful Srimad Bhagavatam session, wherein if you hear Bhagavatam, it's so auspicious. So, this chapter, this is from the third canto, 11th chapter, right? So, the chapter is entitled Calculation of Time from the Atom. When we go through this chapter, it gives us a feeling that we are reading through a research paper, research thesis, right? Or presented by a very extremely intelligent scientist. Simply amazing. That is why Srila Prabhupada always described Srimad Bhagavatam as the science of God and devotional service as the science of self-realization. So this makes it very clear, that religion is not a sentiment, but science. And this chapter is a great challenge to the atomic scientists. See, Srila Prabhupada, with his hard labor day and night, he has presented this science so meticulously and with great research that now the responsibility is in our hands to utilize all the paraphernalia which Prabhupada has given. So utilize it very lovingly and carefully, which has been presented by Srila Prabhupada. See, we just now saw the first words, right? Ultimate particle. He's given the definition of what is called an atom. That is material manifestation's ultimate particle, which is indivisible and not formed into a body, is called the atom. The second verse, Sataeva padarthasya swarupa vastitasya yat kaivalyam paramamahan vishesho nirantarah. Atoms are the ultimate state of the manifest universe. When they stay in their own forms without forming different bodies, they are called the unlimited oneness. There are certainly different bodies in physical forms, but atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. So don't worry, it's maybe looking like a very difficult subject to discuss, but I will make it very simpler so we can understand. There are few verses which we'll discuss in detail, wherein we can learn a lot of lessons, which practical applications can be done. So I will not ask you to calculate anything, right? It's like a physics, chemistry, maths subject. See, everybody has got an independence, right? Minute independence, which Krishna has given. Because he's also spiritual atom. See, we are all actually spiritual atoms. Krishna Prabhupada says in one of his lecture, we are all spiritual atoms. See, just like a material atomic force is so strong, you can just imagine how strong is the spiritual atom. So in the modern age, that is the atomic age, the scientists have discovered the force, right? The power of material atom. But they have not yet known what is the force of spiritual atom. There is a spiritual atom, and we are all spiritual atoms. So the atom is described in Vedic literature. The form of the spirit, which you are actually. Keshagra Shata Bhagasya Shatada Kalpitasya Cha Shvetaswara Upanishad 5.9 says, see, when the upper point of hair is divided into 100 parts, upper point of one single strand of hair is divided into 100 parts, and again each of such part is further divided into 100 parts. Each such part is a measurement of the dimension of the spirit soul. Kesha means the hair, the upper portion of your hair. And when it is divided into 10,000 parts, see, just imagine, right? One part is the spiritual atom, one part is. It is so small, so minute. It is not possible to see with our material eyes. Even the material atom also we cannot see, okay? So when the material atoms are combined into six, then you see the float, you can see, the floating in the air through the sunshine, which is entering your room through the holes of the window. You might have seen this, right? During the morning, that the sun rays are coming through the window. You can see the particles. So that small particle, they are combination of six atoms. And that particle, when it is divided into six, that becomes the atom. So we cannot even see the material atoms. So what to speak of the spiritual atom? When a dead man is there, the medical person or even scientist, everyone is sitting there, right? How that spiritual atom is passed from this body, nobody can see. They can simply say, oh, now he is gone. Who is gone? Have you seen who is gone? No. Then what are you seeing? I am seeing this dead body. So, whole life you have been seeing this dead body. So, if I cannot see at the present structure of my body, even the spark, that is a material atom, how can we see God, the Supreme Spirit? So, we have to qualify ourselves. And that qualification, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatha mam prapadyante. That is, you surrender yourself to me. Sarva dharmam parityaja. He says to Arjuna, abandon all varieties of religion, surrender to me. And I shall give you all protection. I shall deliver you from all reactions. Do not fear. He says, right? See, living entity is also atom. Okay. So one class of atom is matter. And the other class of atom is the living entity. That is given in Bhagavad Gita 7.4. Bhumi rapo analo vayu kham mano buddhi revacha. Matter. Everything is combination of atom. Atomic particles. See, either you take the earth or you take water or air or fire. Everything is combination of atom. And that's a fact. But we know that these atoms are coming out as the energy of Krishna. Bhinna. Bhinna means the quality is different. Not the same quality. This is inferior quality. But there is another superior quality, Jiva Bhuta. That is the living entity. So, two kinds of atoms are coming from Krishna. One is the spiritual atom, and the other is the material atom. So, spiritual atoms, they are many times greater than the material atoms. See, in the 11th canto, 15th chapter, 12th verse, Krishna says in the translation, I exist within everything, and I am therefore the essence of the atomic constituents of material elements. By attaching his mind to me in this form, the yogi may achieve the perfection called laghima, by which he realizes the subtle atomic substance of time. And the purport Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam elaborately explains that kala or time is time is the transcendental form of the Lord that moves the material world. Now, since the five gross elements are composed of atoms, the atomic particles are the subtle substance or the manifestation of the movements of time. And more subtle than time is the Supreme Personality of God himself, who expands his potency as the time factor, kala. He says, Aham kalosmi, right? So by understanding all these things clearly, the yogi, he obtains lagima siddhi, or the power to make himself lighter than the lightest. That's how these yogis, they do, right? See, in the purport of 3rd canto, 10th chapter, 10th verse, Rupa says, the complete universe is a manifestation of varieties of entities. That is beginning from the atoms up to the gigantic universal itself. And they're all under the control of the Supreme Lord in his form of Kala, eternal time. So the controlling time has different dimensions, right? So there is a time for atomic dissolution There is a time for universal dissolution. There is a time for the annihilation of the body of the human being, and there is a time for the annihilation of the universal body also. So the growth, development, and the resultant actions all depend on the time factor. Now, so those who follow the atomic theory, they think that the protons and electrons in 512-9, Purport Prabhupada says that the protons and electrons of atoms combine in such a way as to bring all the material existence into being. But the scientists fail to discover the cause of atomic existence itself. They make so many theories. So under these circumstances, we cannot accept that the atom is the cause of the universe. No. Such theories are advanced by unintelligent people. According to real intelligence, real cause of the cosmic manifestation is the Supreme Lord, Krishna. Janmadhyasyatah. First canto, first chapter, first verse. Krishna is the original cause of all creation, Sarva Karana Karma. And Bhagavad Gita 10.8 says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo Matas Sarvam Pravartate. Krishna is the original cause. Sarva Karana Karma. He is the cause of all causes. And Krishna is the cause of atoms, the material energy. That is 7.4 Bhagavad Gita says, Bhumi aponalo vayuhu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme bhinna prakriti rashtada. So the ultimate cause is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And only those in ignorance try to find other causes by posting different theories. There are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms. Innumerable. See, just now we saw in the second, right? Atoms are the ultimate state of manifest universe. And when they stay in their own forms without forming different bodies, they are called unlimited oneness. And there are certainly different bodies in physical forms, but atoms themselves form the complete manifestation. In the third verse, Evam kalopya anumitaha Saukshmye Saulye cha Sattama Samsthana Bhuktya Bhagavan Avyakto Vyakta Bhugvibhu. One can estimate time by measuring the movement of the atomic combination of bodies. Time is the potency of the Almighty Personality of Godhead, Hari, who controls all physical movement, although he is not visible in the physical world. Very clear, right? And the fourth he says, Sakala Paramanur Vai Sakala Paramanur Vai Yo Bhumte Paramanutam Sato Vishesha Bhugyastu Sakala Paramo Mahan. Atomic time is measured according to its covering a particular atomic space. And that time, which covers the unmanifest aggregate of atoms, is called the great time. You can see the definitions. You should have just a fair idea of all these things. See, time and space are two correlative terms. Now, time is measured, Prabhupada says, time is measured in terms of its covering a certain space of atoms. And standard time is calculated in terms of the movement of the sun. This we all know, right? So the time covered by the sun in passing over an atom is called, calculated as atomic time. The greatest time of all covers the entire existence of the non-dual manifestation. All the planets rotate and cover space. And space is calculated in terms of atoms. Each planet has its particular orbit for rotating, in which it moves without deviation. And similarly, the sun has its orbit. So the complete calculation of time of creation, maintenance, and dissolution, measured in terms of circulation of the total planetary systems until the end of creation, is known as the supreme God. See, there are innumerable particles of spiritual atoms, okay, which are measured as 1/10,000 of the upper portion of hair, right? So because we have no instrument to measure the dimensions of the spirit soul, the small particle of spirit soul is measured in this way. So the soul is so small that is smaller than the atom. That small particle is within you, within me, within the elephant, animals, men, ant, tree. But scientific knowledge cannot estimate the dimension of the soul. Not even a doctor can locate the soul within the body. So material scientists conclude that there is no soul. But that is not a fact. There is a soul. The presence of the soul makes the difference between a living body and a dead body. As soon as the soul departs from the body, that body dies. It has no value. So however great a scientist or philosopher one may be, he must admit That as soon as the soul departs from the body dies. It then has no value and has to be thrown away. So we should try to understand this. The soul is valuable, not the body. So coming to the fifth verse, Anurdhvo paramanu syat tasarenustraya smrtah jalarka rashmi avagatah khammevanu patan agat. See, the division of gross time is calculated as follows. So how the gross time is calculated? Two atoms make one double atom. Three double atoms make one hexatom. This hexatom is visible in the sunshine, which enters through the holes of a window screen. We know. So this is known as hexatom. One small particles. One can clearly see that hexatom goes up towards the sky. This last line is very important for us to understand. So we will discuss in detail this. One can clearly see that hexatom goes up towards the sky. Purport is, the atom is described as an invisible particle. You cannot see. But when six such atoms combine together, they are called Trasarenu. And this is visible in the sunshine pouring through the holes of a window screen. So we didn't know what it is, right? That is known as hexatom or Trasarenu. See, Prabhupada, the preface of Srimad Bhagavatam, he writes, Srimad Bhagavatam is a transcendent science, not only for knowing the ultimate source of everything, but also for knowing our relationship with the Lord and our duty toward perfection of human society on the basis of this perfect knowledge. See, Prabhupada says, simply by a careful reading, one will know God perfectly well. So much so that the reader will be sufficiently educated to defend himself from the onslaughts of atheists. And over and above this, the reader will be able to convert others to accept God as a concrete principle. That's why this fifth verse is so important, right? So let us try to understand what we can learn from these atoms. It says division of gross time is calculated. Two atoms make one double atom, three atoms, hexatom. From the sunshine, we see that. But point is, one can clearly say that hexatom goes upwards to the sky. It doesn't go down or sideways and all. So one by one. So first point is soar up to the Supreme Lord. Soar up. S-O-A-R, soar. Go up. See, in this verse, we can see that the atoms are going up towards the sky. Khameva anupatan agat. Every atom of the universe is inclined towards the Lord. Therefore, our endeavor as part and parcel of Krishna should also be to reach the Lord. It should be natural. See, every atom of the universe is going towards the Lord, who is the sole proprietor of everything, animate and inanimate. See, everyone points their fingers upward, right? When they refer to God. Upward, right? So, whatever be the type of religion, he points like this. So, our natural position is to go towards the Lord. The atom is so small, weightless, and invisible, but very powerful. Soul is so small, weightless, and invisible. But without the soul, this huge body of maybe of 70 kilos, 80 kilos of urine and stool cannot be carried. See, we see so many construction works going on, right? We can see the workers carrying the cement bags and the shoulder and taking to different places. See, how can the soul, so small, invisible, and weightless, can carry 25 kilos of cement up by going up to a flight of stairs, by moving up? Even for turning the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam, we require the help of the soul. The dead body cannot do that. The soul is so insignificant, no? Measuring a 10,000th part of the tip of the hair, but still powerful. And this is because it is dependent on the super soul. That is why Krishna declares in Bhagavad Gita 7.8, I am the ability in man, Paurusham Rishu. So this means the body does not have any capacity to do anything. So this first lesson we have to understand from this verse. 311.5. The soul is the source of existence. Soul depends on the super soul. who is a localized representation of Supreme Personality Godhead. And therefore, it is natural that like the atoms which go upwards to the sky, we, the individual soul, we should also soar towards the Supreme Personality Godhead and surrender to Him. That is the first point we saw, soar up to the Lord, right? The second is become weightless. See, if an object wants to soar up into the skies, it must be weightless. Too much weight pulls down to the ground. So the atoms are weightless. So it becomes so easy that they go up towards the sky. So we should also realize our position as insignificant living entities. Completely depend upon the mercy of the Lord. And for this, we have to cultivate humility. See, even the soul is small, invisible, and weightless, powerful, not on its own, but by the power borrowed or leased from the Lord. And the Lord can withdraw his power anytime. We are completely dependent on Krishna. This means humility, humility is not only a part of devotional service, but the heart of devotional service. Unless we are genuinely humble, we cannot become weightless. Otherwise, our head weight is so powerful, it will drag us down. It is always doing so, and therefore, we don't want to go up. We are planning how to establish our own name and fame in this planet because we want glorification, but we don't deserve any glorification. Our body is full of stool and urine. What glorification do we deserve? See, among the devotees we broadcast, Prabhuji, I am fallen soul, not worth of anything. But internally we think, I am better than you. I know so many verses from the scriptures. I know how to analyze the verses and give a good lecture, whereas you cannot. This is our hypocrisy. Hypocrisy never wins at any time. My Guru Maharaj used to say, we should not be attached to humility. We should not be attached to humility. Humility should attach itself to us. Naturally, it happens with sincere devotional service. A humble person does not engage in activities that add to his karmic baggage. See, we are already carrying unimaginable big bag of karma, which is heavy and dragging us down into material world. So we should not increase the weight of this karmic bag. Our karmic baggage increases with the in the verse we can see in this 4, 6, 47, fourth canto, 47 verse. It gives what are the karmic baggage, what are the things that are included in this. Persons who observe everything with differentiation, who are simply attached to fruitive activities, who are mean minded, who are always pained to see the flourishing condition of others, and who thus give distress to them by uttering harsh and piercing words, have already been killed by providence. Thus, there is no need for them to be killed again by an exalted personality like you. So, what are those 5 points were there in this verse? That is, these are the things which increase the baggage of karma. One is observing everything with differentiation. Two, our attachment to fruitive activities. Three, our mean-mindedness. Four, our pain to see the flourishing condition of others. When somebody is progressing, we feel painful. We want to bring them down. Five, our uttering harsh and piercing words. So, what is the way to get out of all of this? We should have the conception. Very nice example given by my Guru Maharaj. He said, we should have the conception that we are in a railway station waiting room. And as soon as the train comes, we are off, never to meet again. See, somebody in the waiting room may have nice bedding, nice ornaments, nice suitcases. We may be sitting on a bench and don't have much things. But still, we do not envy them because we know that we are only waiting for the train. As soon as the train comes, we are going to leave. It is difficult for a man with a lot of paraphernalia to get into the train. Whereas if we do not have anything, it becomes easy for us. See, we may be waiting for 2 hours or 60 years. The time element has no value at all. It is all the same. The actual point is that We have to leave the place. Nobody can stick to this body. And it has to be forsaken at the end. So we have to develop the waiting room consciousness before we develop Krishna consciousness. And if this consciousness is developed, then we will not discriminate. We will not be mean-minded or envious of others' prosperity or property also. So this idea has to be digested. And it has to sink into us. Otherwise, we cannot progress even an inch in devotional service. It is important that we remember that reading of Bhagavatam should mean we should be carrying less and less baggage. If we carry 3 baggages and we get on a train, we had it. If we have very less baggage and walk into a train, it is very easy. So pack your life in such a way that you carry minimum baggage. When there is minimum baggage, you will always be a good instrument for Krishna. And once we become humble and weightless, our performance of devotional service is embellished with 2 wonderful qualities, which can also be seen in the atoms. So we saw 2: soar up to the Supreme Lord and become weightless. So once we understand that we are insignificant souls dependent on the Supreme Lord, we become humble and weightless. And once we become humble and weightless, our performance of devotional service, we have 2 wonderful qualities which can also be seen in the atoms, right? That is become invisible. Third point was become invisible. See, the atom is described as an invisible particle. Okay. So this invisibility is an important quality we develop when we become humble. See, presently what happens, we are all broadcasting all our sadhana and our activities as if we are pure devotees. Pure devotees, they don't broadcast also. Therefore, we want to be visible among devotees. And we want a standing and recognition. See, our feeling is, I am chanting 16 rounds, I am initiated, I am standing in the group, and people should bow down to me. Unless we are humble, we cannot be invisible in devotional service. A Vaishnava, very beautiful point to understand. A Vaishnava should be like a salt. A salt mixes in the food and gives a taste, but the salt is not seen. In the same way, our service should not be performed silently. Our service should be performed silently, and we should not be seen and behave as if we are not existing and are invisible. See, Srila Prabhupada was sweeping the courtyard of Radha Damodar Samadhi in Vrindavan almost every day in the middle of the night, unnoticed by others. Prabhupada was bending down with a small broom, and he swept the ground. He was crying out near the Samadhi of Rupa. Hey Rupa, hey Sanatana, hey Gurudeva, please give me your mercy. Without your mercy, I cannot do anything. Give me the mercy, give me the strength that I may fulfill your orders. So we are all followers of this uncommon Acharya, Srila Prabhupada. And it's our duty to follow in his footsteps. By not be bragging about our services, but remain invisible like the atoms. And fourth point is cooperation with each other. The atoms, they cooperate. That's why the fifth verse, the atom is described as an invisible particle, but when such, that's what we saw in the fifth verse just now, right? The division of gross atom is calculated as atoms one. So this is, one can clearly see that X atom goes up towards the sky. It says invisible particle, but when such 6 atoms combine together, they are called a Tarsarinu. And this is visible in the sunshine pouring through the holes of a window. This is another important lesson. That is cooperation, just like the atoms, they combine. We should develop this cooperation with each other. Just like the atoms are joined together, right? We devotees should cooperate and work together. Prabhupada says, the greatest austerity is to tolerate each other. The more you tolerate, the more your sadhana becomes strong. And this is the secret of success of any group. Prabhupada beautifully says this. So if you cannot tolerate, you'll be harping on the other person you are finding fault with. And result is your sadhana becomes weak. Our mind is not with Krishna. So we have to just tolerate and adjust and tolerate. See, the hexatoms are joined together in going upwards. And therefore, we should join together and help each other to elevate and uplift each other. See, the wonderful purport of Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, 30th chapter, 8th verse, Prabhupada writes, since the sons of King Kachina Barisha, they were all united in Krishna consciousness. The Lord was very pleased with them. Each and every one of the sons of the king was an individual soul, but they were united in offering transcendental service to the Lord. So the unity of the individual souls attempting to satisfy the Supreme Lord or rendering service to the Lord is real unity. In the material world, such unity is not possible. See, those who are actually engaged in the service of Supreme Personality Body Krishna cannot be disunited in any circumstance. So this makes the Supreme Personality Body very happy and willing to go about all kinds of benediction to his devotees. So the invisible, weightless, small atoms, they teach us so many lessons. And it is our duty to imbibe good things from wherever they are available, even from the insignificant atom. See, let's see the sixth now. Trasarenu trikam bhungte yakalasya tuti smritah shatabhagastu vedasyat taistribestu labha smritah. The time duration needed for the integration of three trasarenus is called a truti. And 100 trutis make one Veda. 3 Vedas make one Lava. The purport says it is calculated that if a second, this was 1 second, is divided into 1687.5 parts, that 1 second also, each part is the duration of a truti. So small. Which is the time occupied in integration of 18 atomic particles. Such a combination of atoms in different bodies creates the calculation of material time. The sun is the central point for calculating all different durations. You might have heard this Tuti in Bhagavatam. It's a beautiful verse, right? In Gopika Git. Gopis, they say in 10:31:15, Atate yad bhavan anikananam truti yugayate vamapasyatam kutilakuntalam shrimukam chate jadao dikshatam pakshmakrudrisham. So Gopis are telling, oh Krishna, when you go to the forest during the day, and when we do not see your sweet face, which is surrounded by beautiful curling hair, half a second becomes as long as an entire age for us. And we consider the creator, that is Brahma, who was put his eyelids on the eyes, we use for seeing you, to simply a fool. They are complaining to Brahma, why you made these eyelids? Because when we have to blink, that much we are not able to see Krishna. That truti. The truti yuga, it becomes like a yuga. Seventh is Nimeshastrilavo Gyeya Amnataste Trayakshanah Kshanan Panchavidu Kashtam Laguta Dasha Panchacha. The duration of time of 3 lavas is equal to 1 nimesha. The combination of 3 nimeshas make 1 kshana. 5 kshanas combined together make 1 kashta. And 15 kashtas make 1 lagu. Purport? By calculation, it is found that 1 lagu is equal to 2 minutes. The atomic calculation of time in terms of Vedic wisdom may be converted into present time with this understanding. So it makes 1 lagu is to 2 minutes. So now we can understand. Otherwise, the 8th one is Laguni Vaisamanata Samamnata Dashapanchacha Nadika Tedve Muhurta Praharaha Shadyama Saptavarnam. Now 15 lagus make 1 Nadika, which is also called Danda. 2 dandas make 1 Muhurta, and 6 or 7 dandas make 1/4 of a day or night, according to human calculation. The 9th verse Dvadasharda Palonmanam Manam Chaturbesh Swarnamasai Kritachidram Yavat Prastha Jala Plutam. The measuring pot for 1 nadika or danda can be prepared with a 6 pala weight, 14 ounce pot of copper, in which the hole is bored with a gold probe weighing 4 masha and measuring 4 fingers long. When the pot is placed on water, the time before the water overflows the pot is called one danda. Just going through just to have an idea. See, it is advised herein that the bore in the copper measuring pot must be made with a probe weighing not more than 4 masa and measuring not longer than 4 fingers. So this regulates the diameter of the hole. The pot is submerged in water and the overflowing time is called danda. This is another way of measuring the duration of a danda, just as time is measured by sand glass in a glass. This we can understand, right? The sand is there in the glass, right? When it slowly drops down. So time is measured similar way. So it appears that in the days of Vedic civilization, no, there is no dearth of knowledge in physics, chemistry, or higher mathematics. Measurements were calculated in different ways, as simply as could be done. 10th, Yamash Chatvarashchatvaro Madhyana Mahani Ubhe Paksha Pancha Dashahani Shukla Krishnascha Manal. It is calculated there are 4 praharas, which are also called yamas, in the day and 4 in the night of the human being. Similarly, 15 days and nights are a fortnight. And there are 2 fortnights, white and black, in a month. See, there are 2 types of dissolution of the manifested cosmos. See, at the end of every 4 billion 320 million solar years, every 4 billion 320 million solar years, when Brahma, the law of one particular universe, goes to sleep, there is one annihilation. See, at the end of Lord Brahma's life, no, which takes place at the end of Brahma's 100 years of age. In our calculation, at the end of 8 billion 640,000 640 million, 8 billion 640 million into 30 into 12 into 100 solar years, there is complete annihilation of the entire universe. And in both the periods, both the material energy called the Mahatattva and the marginal energy called Jiva Tattva, they merge in the person of the Supreme Lord. So the living beings, they remain asleep within the body of the Lord until there is another creation of the middle world. And that is the way of the creation, maintenance, annihilation of the material manifestation. See, in the 11th, Tayo Samuchayo Masaha Pitranam Tadahara Nisham Dvautva Rutus Shadayanam Dakshinam Chotaram Divi. Another wonderful lesson we can learn from this. See, the aggregate of 2 fortnights is 1 month. That period is 1 complete day and night for the Pita planets. 2 of such months comprise 1 season, and 6 months comprise 1 complete movement of the sun from south to north. See, all the planets are moving in very nice direction. See, here we see the sun is moving according to the wheel of time, Kala Chakra, which in turn is working under the direction of Lord Krishna. So this is very nicely, very wonderfully given in Sri Brahma Samhita 5.52. Yachakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Tejaha Yasyagnyaya Brahmati Sambrata Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. The sun, who is the king of all the planets, full of infinite effulgence, the image of the good soul, is the eye of this Lord. I adore the primeval Lord Govinda, in persons of whose order the sun performs his journey mounting the wheel of time. See, the reason the sun is effulgent is because the sun works under the order of this time. And time is the representative of Supreme Lord Krishna. So, the complete obedience to the master is a very important quality we should learn and imbibe from the sun. And if we perfectly realize our positions as the servants of the Supreme Lord and his representative, the spiritual master, we will also become effulgent like the sun. See, since the sun satisfies the order of time, he is being worshipped. Bhagavatam 7:12-11. Guru Vrittir Vikalpena, to follow the orders of the spiritual master. Prabhupada says in the purport, In spiritual life, one must conduct one's whole life under the guidance of the Guru. Only one who executes his spiritual life under the direction of spiritual master, he can achieve the mercy of Krishna. Yasya prasada bhagavad prasad. If one desires to advance in spiritual life, but he acts whimsically, not following the orders of spiritual master, he has no shelter. That's why this wonderful purport in my 1524 Bhagavatam, Rupa very nicely said, without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, and without being fully obedient, no one can become successful in following the instructions of spiritual master. And without doing so, no one is able to go back to Godhead. These three is very important. Without being self-controlled, without being disciplined, without being fully obedient. No one can be successful in following the instructions also. Obedience is a must. See, when we obey, we will advance in life. As soon as there is a challenging attitude, no, we forget about the progress. The dictionary meaning of the word obedience is compliance with an order, request, or law, or submission to another's authority. It is possible to obey authority if we develop three qualities. GSM, everybody knows, no? GSM. G for gentle, S for submissive, M for malleable. We can remember these three qualities with the acronym GSM. Just like global system for mobile communications, right? Referred as GSM. Is used to communicate with others. So the communication approach, our glorious spiritual master GSM, is to be gentle, submissive, and malleable. Let us see one by one. Gentle. The quality of being gentle. Bhagavad 118 says, and because you are submissive, your spiritual masters have endowed you with all the favors bestowed upon a gentle disciple. Therefore, you can tell us all that you have scientifically learned from them. So Prabhupada writes, it is essential, therefore, excuse me, that a disciple be very much obedient and submissive to the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sutta Goswami, he fulfilled all these qualifications as a disciple. Therefore, he was endowed with all favors by his learned and self-led spiritual master, such as Vyasadeva and others. So, to be gentle means to possess. See, Gentle, right? So, these are the qualities we can see. G is grave. In order to be grave, we have to remember the graveyard every day, because that is the place we are finally going to go. The sun always remembers that all its effulgence is coming from the Lord, and is simply obeying the orders of the Supreme Lord, and thus it is very grave. See, the sun does not say, no, today I am feeling lazy, let me rise at 9 a.m. The sun remembers that anytime it does not obey the orders of the Supreme Lord, he will lose this opportunity to serve the Lord. Therefore, he remains grave always. So we should also realize that Krishna is the supreme controller, and we are under his complete control. So we should also remain grave and alert in doing our service. If you are not grave, then we cannot be gentle. Second is E, and the gentle E is equipoised. One must be equipoised. See, the sun gives its light to all the places. Rich, poor, foolish, intelligent, mountain, he is very equipoised, does not discriminate. So this absence of discrimination is an important quality. We have to cultivate and see every living entity as a part and parcel of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Then N, nothing. The gentle N is nothing. We are nothing. We must understand we are nothing and we have nothing. See, the sun evaporates the water from the ocean and rivers, but ultimately helps us to and gives it back in the form of rain. Another point to be noted is that sun evaporates water which is not potable also, but gives it back as pure rainwater. That is nothing. Then T is tolerant. Those who are tolerant, automatically they are gentle. During the time of eclipse, the Rahu planet covers the sun fully. The sun accepts his position and tolerates, even though Rahu planet is insignificant in comparison to the sun. Then L, learned. All knowledge is revealed to one who is tolerant. The sun god is learned because Krishna gave him the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita so many millions of years ago. We saw in Bhagavad Gita, right? Then E, enough. We have to ultimately come to the conclusion that everything that I have is enough. I do not need anything more. Even though the sun is evaporating and taking all the water, He does not keep all the water with him, right? Sun is satisfied in his own position as the Lord's servitor. So once you are gentle, you can become submissive, or otherwise it is not possible. So in order to obey the instructions of spiritual master, we have to acquire these three qualities of being gentle, submissive, and malleable, right? So we just saw gentle. So what is submissive? GSM says, Sun is very submissive to the Supreme Lord. That's why he's performing his duty very religiously for millions of years. Sun never questions as to why he should rise in the east every morning and set in the west every evening. Since Krishna has asked him to do that way, he simply submissively follows the order of the Lord. Similarly, we should also simply surrender, simply and submissively serve the spiritual master. See, what we are doing to spiritual master is not important. What is important is whether we are ready to hear and obey our spiritual master. If we try to suggest so many things to our guru with our own intelligence and logical arguments, we are destroyed. We want things our way, right? But devotional service is all about putting aside our things and letting the spiritual master become important. Obedience to Guru and Krishna is paramount. Writing is clear when the slate is fresh. And when you approach the Lord or the spiritual master with a written slate, it becomes very hard. See, my Guru Maharaj said, you can be a rascal. You may not have any knowledge of the scriptures. You may not have any material education. You don't have any money also. He said, I am not interested in those things. If you obey me 10%, that is all I want. That is enough. You leave Krishna to me, and I will handle Krishna on your behalf. This is submissive. Then I am malleable. To be malleable means to be flexible. See, we say that certain metals are malleable, right? And ductile. So we can see that the sun is very malleable to the will of the Lord. In winter time, the sun has to set early, and during summer time, it has elongated hours. But it does not complain and rebel against these changes in timings. The sun obeys the orders of the Lord, being very malleable. That's why in this 11th verse we just saw, right? The sun is moving from south to north, and it never says that it will move from east to west or southwest to southeast. It follows obedience. That's why 1:16:16, Maharaj Parikshit heard that out of his costless mercy, Lord Krishna, who is universally obeyed, he rendered all kinds of service to the malleable sons of Pandu by accepting posts ranging from chariot driver to president to messenger, friend, night watchman, according to the will of the Pandavas, obeying them like a servant. And offering obeys to like one younger in years. When Parikshit Maharaj heard this, Maharaj Parikshit became overwhelmed with devotion to the lotus feet of the Lord. So Purva very nicely glorifies the devotional mood of the Pandavas. See, the Pandavas were so malleable to the will of the Lord that they could sacrifice any amount of energy for the service of the Lord. And by such unalloyed determination, they could secure the Lord's mercy in any shape they desired. The word Snigdeshu, which means malleable to the will of the Lord. This is a very worth meditation, right? Malleability means to be flexible, compliant to the will of the Lord. In simpler words, to be completely surrendered to the Lord's will and accept whatever situation He may put us in. See, our normal tendency is to become rebellious whenever things go against our expectations. We wonder why Krishna has put us in such a terrible situation. We don't allow Krishna to take control of us at all. We don't allow Krishna to take control of us and the situation. We try to manipulate things so that situation becomes favorable to us. See, we can see in our practical life also that a malleable person is easily accessible and approachable, whereas a rigid personality is not loved by everyone. If we are malleable, it becomes difficult to win the love. If you're not malleable, it becomes difficult to win the love, trust, and confidence of people around us. If we do not develop these three qualities of being gentle, submissive, and malleable, GSM, the result is very nicely depicted. What is the result? In 3:141, it says, O gentle one, I simply lament for he, that is Dhritarashtra, who rebelled against his brother after death. By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am a sincere well-wisher, because he accepted a line of action adopted by his own sons. This verse gives three reasons for the fall down of Dhritarashtra. Number one, not obeying the order of, see, this is all about the obedience. not obeying the order of spiritual master. See, Vidura was always counseling his brother Dhritarashtra, but Dhritarashtra never followed his repeated instructions. He acted whimsically, neglecting the order of his spiritual master, Vidura. The moment we are not gentle, we will not be obeying the instructions of our spiritual master. Second point is leniency towards the sons. See, the moment we are not submissive to our spiritual master, we become submissive to our senses, mind, and intelligence, who are our own sons. Dhritarashtra accepted the line of action adopted by his own sons. So, out of too much affection for his sons, on account of bodily conception of life, he accepted the dictations of his crooked and envious sons and did not correct their behavior also. And he was deviated away from the important duty as a father. Our sons are mind, false ego, intelligence, and we are very lenient and submissive to them instead of being submissive to our spiritual master. The result is we forget the instruction of spiritual master and we are listening to our subtle body, mind, intelligence, and false ego. So they are our sons and we are servants of them. This is very dangerous. And this leniency leads to distress. That we saw in the Kurukshetra war. Ultimately, Kauravas were destroyed. And third was rejecting the association of devotees. If you are not malleable, then we reject the association of devotees. Dhritarashtra revolted against the sons of his dead brother, Pandu, and rejected them. So, in essence, he has rejected the association of devotees. And he has done a Vaishnava aparadh, offense at the lotus feet of Vaishnavas, Pandavas. And this ensured his fall down, right? See, once we are gentle, submissive, and malleable, leading to obedience to the instructions of our spiritual master, the result is purification of our existence. Once we are purified, then we become like the sun. Even though we are in collaboration with matter, we are not affected. Dirt, sewage, seawater, all are absorbed and purified. And the result is pure rainwater by the sun. Similarly, if we ignore the bad qualities in others and we really give devotional service to others, then others will also get purified. So these things are to be meditated upon again and again and applied in our lives. So just like GSM, Global Service for Mobile Communication, right? Connection enables us to contact anybody in any part of the world without any restriction. In the same way, the GSM connection of gentle, submissive, and malleable to our glorious spiritual master will enable us to spread the message of Krishna consciousness in a pure way, all over the world without any restriction. That's why acharyas like Prabhupada and Guru, they are perfect examples in front of us. The 12th verse is Ayane Chahani Prahur Vatsaro Dwadasha Smritah Samvatsara Shatam Nrinam Paramayu Dirupitam. Two solar movements make one day and night of the demigods. That combination of day and night is one complete calendar year for the human being. The human being has a duration of life of 100 years. 13th is Gazaksha Tara Chakrastha Parman Adina Jagat Samvatsaravasanena Pariyati Animisho Vibhu. Influential stars, planets, luminaries, and atoms all over the universe are rotating in their respective orbits under the direction of Supreme, represented by eternal Kala. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated, Sun is the eye of the Supreme Lord, and it rotates in its particular orbit of time. Similarly, beginning from the Sun down to the atom, all bodies are under the influence of Kala Chakra, or the orbit of the eternal time. Each of them has a scheduled orbital time of 7 samvatsara. In the 14th verse, see, we saw what this 2, 6 hexatom and all those things, how it's calculated. If you go to the 14th verse, Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idam Vatsara Evacha, Anu Vatsaro Vatsarascha, Viduraivam Prabhashyate. There are 5 different names for the orbits of sun, moon, stars, luminaries, the firmament, and they each have their someone Samvatsara. So this subject matter of physics, chemistry, mathematics, astronomy, time, and space dealt with in these above verses of Srimad Bhagavatam are certainly very interesting to students of the particular subject. Prabhupada says, but as far as we are concerned, we cannot explain them very thoroughly in terms of technical knowledge. The subject is summarized by the statement that above all the different branches of knowledge is the supreme control of Kala, the plenary presentation of the Supreme Personality of God. Nothing exists without him. Therefore, everything, however wonderful it may be appear to our meager knowledge, is but the work of the magical band of Supreme Lord. As far as time is concerned, we beg to subjoin here with a table of timings in modern clock. You can go through this. What is one Truti, this much, one Veda, which we saw in the previous verses. One Lava, Nimesha, Kshana, and all these things, right? 2 Paksha, 1 month, Brahma Samhita. So, this one. So the 13th verse, no, regarding Prabhupada, he says, Brahma said, sun is the eye of the Supreme Lord. It rotates in particular orbit of him. It is obedient, right? So Prabhupada writes in 15.13 Bhagavad Gita, due to the moon's influence, vegetables become delicious. Without the moonshine, vegetables can neither grow nor taste. So human society is working, living comfortably, enjoying food due to the supply from the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, mankind could not survive, right? So in the same word, everything becomes palatable by the agency of Supreme Lord through the influence of the moon. So that's why luminaries, stars, planets which are far above in the space has so much influence on the earth. In the same way, our lives, we can feel the influence of so many personalities, either living or dead. What is influence? In the dictionary, the word influence is defined as capacity to have an effect on the character, development, or behavior of someone or something or the effect itself. So from Bhagavatam, we understand that influence of the illusory energy is so wonderful that even the most powerful Brahmaji was bewildered in the beginning of creation. We all know Brahmaji is born out of his lotus flower, right? So 8th canto of 3rd chapter Bhagavatam describes that this lotus flower is nothing but the sun, sum total of the fruitive activity of the living entities, and it is impregnated with the modes of material nature. So fruitive mentality and modes of material nature is sum total of material world. Therefore, material world is cruel because everybody is in the grip of material modes and fruitive mentalities. So we are sitting in this powerful influence which is engulfing the whole world. So Bhagavatam explains systematically how Brahmaji was bewildered, and this is also the way to understand how we are influenced and bewildered by the illusion energy. See, we are encircled by the circular waves of modes of nature, correct? So difficult to get out of it. And we mentally concord that we work on the mental platform only. In fact, endeavor based on mental concoction results in failures. We create so many bodies, and this makes everything fearful. So the whole life is on mental concoction. So where is the final time of our life, and we create another body because the mind is source of another cross body. So the mind concocts and creates so many bodies, and this is the cause of great fear. So we should become serious about getting out of the mental influence. And we have to realize that endeavors for sense gratification will lead to ultimate failure. And most important, we have to envisage our last day, our death. And we have to be factually convinced of the Lord by the transcendental knowledge which we are gaining by hearing Bhagavatam Bhagavad Gita day in and day out. So very, very important for us to understand. So this is 15th verse. Yasrejya shakti murdocha vasayan swam shaktya humso brahmaya dividhavati bhuta bhedah kalakhya gunamayam kratubir vitanvams tasmai baling harata vatsara panchakaya. O Vidura, the sun enlivens all living entities with his unlimited heat and light. He diminishes the duration of life of all living entities in order to release them from the illusion of material attachment. And he enlarges his path of elevation to the heavenly kingdom. He thus moves in the firmament with great velocity. Therefore, everyone should offer him respects once every 5 years with all ingredients of worship. Sixth one, Vidruvacha. Pitrudeva Manushyanam Ayu Paramidam Svitam Paresham Gatima Chakshva Yesyu Kalpad Bahirvidaha. Mitra said, I now understand the life durations of the residents of the Pita planets and heavenly planets, as well as that of the human beings. Now kindly inform me of the durations of life of those greatly learned living entities who are beyond the range of the Kalpa. The partial dissolution of the universe that takes place at the end of Brahma's day does not affect all the planetary systems. Planets of highly learned living entities like the sages, Sanaka, and Bhrigu are not affected by the dissolution of millenniums. All the planets are of different types. Each is controlled by a different Kala Chakra or schedule of eternal time. The time of the Earth planet is not applicable to other or more elevated planets. Therefore, Vidura herein inquires the duration of life on other planets. Bhagavan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nanu Vishwam Vichakshate Dhira Yogarad Radhena Chakshusha. O spiritually powerful one, you can understand the movements of eternal time, which is a controlling form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because you are a self-realized person, you can see everything by the power of mystic vision. Purport. Those who reach the highest perfect stage of mystic power and can see everything in the past, present, and future is called Trikaragnyas. Similarly, the devotees of the Lord can see everything clearly, that is in the revealed scriptures. Devotees of Lord Krishna, Lord Shri Krishna can very easily understand the signs of Krishna, as well as the situation of the material and spiritual creations without difficulty. Devotees do not have to endeavor for any yoga siddhi or perfection of any mystic powers. They are competent to understand everything by the grace of the Lord, who is sitting in everyone's heart. Maitrivacha Katam Treta Dwaparam Cha Kalishcheti Chaturyugam Divyer Dvadashabhair Varshaihi Shavadhanam Nirupitam. Maitreya said, O Vidura, the four millenniums are called Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali Yuga. The aggregate number of years of all those combined is equal to 12,000 years of the demigods. But the years of the demigods are equal to 360 years of human mankind. As will be clarified in subsequent verses, 12,000 demigod years, including the transitional periods which are called Yuga Sandhyas, comprise the total aforementioned 4 millenniums. Thus, aggregate of the above mentioned 4 millenniums is 4,320,000 years. Chatvaretrini dve chaikam kritadishu yathakramam sankyatani sahasrani dvigunani shatani cha. The duration of Satya millennium equals 4,800 years of the demigods. Duration of Treta millennium equals 3,000 years of the demigods. Duration of Dwapar millennium equals 2,400 years. That of Kali millennium, 1,200 years of demigods. Very useful information here. Purport. 1 year of demigods is equal to 360 years of human mankind. Now, what is the duration of Satyuga? Is 4,800 of demigods, right? Into 360 or 1,750,000 years. Treta Yuga, 3,000 into 360 or 1,296,000 years. Dwapar Yuga is 2,460, 864,000 years. And Kali Yuga, 1,260, 432,000 years. Sandhya Sandhyayam Shayor Antar Yakala Shat Sankyayoho Tamemahuryagam Jitagya Yatra Dharmo Vidiyate. The transitional periods before and after every millennium, which are a few hundred years as aforementioned, are known as Yuga Sandhyas or conjunctions of two millenniums, according to the expert astronomers. In those periods of all kinds of religious activities are performed. In today's last words, Dharmash Chatus Pan Manujan Krites Samanvartate Sevaneshu Dharmena Vyeti Padena Vardata. Oh, Vidra, in Satya millennium, mankind properly and completely maintained the principles of religion. But in other millenniums, religion gradually decreased by one part as irreligion was proportionally admitted. So in the Satya millennium, complete execution of religious principles prevailed. Gradually, principle of religion decreased by one part in each of the subsequent millenniums. In other words, at present there is one part religion and three parts irreligion. Therefore, people in this age are not very happy. See, the principles of religion are laid down by the Lord Himself. And the executor of the laws are Dharmaraja, Yamaraja. See, the principles work fully in the age of Satyuga. In the Treta Yuga, they are reduced by a fraction of 1/4. In the Dwapar Yuga, they are reduced to 1/2. Kali Yuga, they are reduced to 1/4. And gradually diminishing to the 0 point. When the Kali Yuga ends, totally gone. Then devastation takes place. So the happiness in the material world depends proportionally on the maintenance of the religious principles, individually or collectively. So the best part is to maintain the principles despite all kinds of. That's why we are doing Krishna consciousness. So one can be happy during the span of life, ultimately return to Godhead. See, in the age of Satya, truthfulness. This once, see, if you go to, I just refer this once, first canto, 17th chapter, verse number 22 to 25. In the such age of Satya, truthfulness, your four legs were established by the four principles of austerity, cleanliness, mercy, and truthfulness, ACMT. But it appears that three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion. He's talking to the bull, right? Bull and the cow discussion. Appears that the three of your legs are broken due to rampant irreligion in the form of pride, lust for women, and intoxication. And you're now standing on one leg, which is truthfulness, which is your truthfulness. And you are somehow or the other hobbling along. Cornered Pariswan Kali, flourishing by deceit, is also trying to destroy that leg. So now it is only the truthfulness there, nothing much. That also is diminishing. So only one leg. So that's the point. So Satya, Treta, and Dwapar. You've seen wonderful lessons we could learn. So time is of the essence. There's actually calculation of time on the atoms. The chapter is also like that. So I need to stop here. So thank you very much. I tried within my capacity, whatever was possible within the strict time to cover. But a lot of lessons could be learned. I had to skip many things. Many things can be again discussed, but time is of the essence. As we see, we would obey the time. Correct? So we are obeying time. Thank you, for patiently sitting through and listening and giving me the opportunity to glorify the Lord through these wonderful verses. Hare Krishna, Gandhra Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Thy Gautam Hari Guru. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Vancha Kalpatarubhishya. Kripa Sindhu Bhai Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shri
Thank-
Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu Dandavat Pranam.
Yeah.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji. Thank you.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna. Thank you.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. We have a question in
Hare
the chat. Okay, we have a question in the chat.
Yes, Prabhu.
It says, hello, respected sir, very nice. How our food habits also affect our karma, our thoughts and our karmas. The question is how our food habits affect our thoughts and karma. That is the question.
Oh, yes, definitely. Yes, yes, correct, correct. See, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that if you have to offer the whatever you are making as bhoga, you should offer to Krishna and take it as prasadam. Then that's the best thing. But if you don't offer, it is a sin. Krishna is definitely saying. Then that's why nowadays what we are doing, we don't offer to Krishna at all. We take whatever is required. And moreover, nowadays we are not cooking in the home also. That is, you can see, all ordered from outside, right? Swiggy, Zomato, so many things. We are going on all food. We are taking it from outside. And if it also depends in what mood the person is cooking the food. In home, at least, the mother is and all, they cleanse, they take bath and do the aarti and everything. And after that, they go to the kitchen, clean way. Everything is done in a very clean, wonderful mind. We may be hearing kirtan or chanting Krishna's name. Thereby, you're cooking, you're totally absorbed, just like Yashoda Mata was absorbed while churning the butter in the Damodar pastime. But we don't know in what mood the people are cooking in various hotels and restaurants, and that we are eating. So that will have an effect in our health. That's proposed. And moreover, that's how it's food is affected. Junk food, right? We, people, Krishna says, what is Patram Pushpam Phalam to him, that itself is enough for offering to him. He will be pleased. But Chapan Bhog also, we need to see, we're all wanting to eat some delicious food and all. But we offering to Krishna and taking it, that's the prasadam. That is the best way to do that. Right? Even khichdi is enough also. But even, okay, somebody likes gulab jamun. Even now, pizza also is being made, but it's all made in a very wonderful way, right? Within the constituents of our Krishna consciousness. So that also can be done, but we have to make it in such a clean way, regulated way, and offer to Krishna and take it as prasadam. Then there's not a problem. Otherwise, food habits definitely, because of the food habits, the lifestyle, we are not regulated. No regulated lifestyle is there. That's why everything affects our thoughts and definitely our karmas, right? The baggage of karma becomes more and more. It's very difficult to go in the train. Correct. The lesser the karma baggage, already we have so much. We have to reduce that, and that can be reduced only by regulation. And the best regulation is getting up early in the morning for Mangala Aarti, doing the Aarti and all, chanting our rounds, right? Then, of course, doing our material duties, but always thinking of Krishna 24 hours. It is possible. Not necessarily chanting. We can still think of, recite the verses. We can try to memorize the verses. But if you memorize, your memory become very sharp. Even the old age also it will be sharp. Because these are transcendental vibration. It's not material. So you can try to learn the verses very nicely. Try to memorize. Your memory, that is the gym. Memory gym is better than all the other gyms, physical gyms. So that way, the food habits and everything, these things affect your thoughts. So you can make it more better and sharper and very responsible. And then your body health improves. And once the health improves, there's nothing to worry about. We have to just please Krishna. He is the root of all causes. I presume I was able to some point answer Prabhu. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Okay. So if there are no other questions, we can stop here. Is it okay, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you very much for this opportunity.